welcome back. This is my second Riverside Norwich video walk, and today I'm starting up the far end where we have a lot of modern blocks of apartments and of course Norwich City Football Club, who are in the Premiership currently in 2021. Norwich City was formed in 1902, and you know what, it took a very short time to build it. It actually took 82 days in 1935, which is amazing. The local people actually called it the eighth wonder of the world because it took such a short time. And the Canaries, as they're called, the football club is called the Canaries, is due to the breeding of the canary birds that were brought over to this area and introduced from about the 16th century by a group of European immigrant weavers to the area, as known as the strangers, because they weren't part of Norwich, they were strangers, they weren't from here. So the canaries were brought here and all part of the weaving industry, and the name has been adopted by the football club basically. The football club has a capacity of just over 27,000, and the song that everybody sings is On the Ball City, and On the Ball City is actually older than the club itself. It's the oldest football club song in the world, anywhere, and I'm not going to sing it to you. The song was probably penned for Norwich teachers at Carrow FC in the 1890s. Another early chant, when the club was formed in 1902, goes something like this. To our Norwich City we mean to bring fame, with our Norwich City we'll play such a game, that Fulham and Tottenham will faint at the name of Norwich Canaries, what-o. So that is another old song that was penned as the ground was opened, but the other one goes back to 1890s, oldest song in the world for a football club, which is that's a bit of a historical fact for you, really. Right, I've just walked from the football stadium. We're back now to the river, and opposite me is the old Colemans mustard factory. There it is. Pretty bit of a monster, isn't it? It's going to be up for redevelopment. It's been here since 1850s, and it was producing obviously mustard from the region until 2019 on the 24th of July, and that's when everything closed down basically. So this site is going to be up for redevelopment, probably something similar to what you can see behind me. Lots of modern apartments, and there's going to be some entertainments and commercial areas as well. They had a slogan in the late 20th century, and it seemed to address both the football and the mustard. It was like, "Come on, Colmans, light my fire." And if you've not had Coleman's mustard, it is hot. I love it. It's great with sausages. What was really special about Colemans is that in 1866 it was granted a royal warrant as manufacturers of mustard to the Queen Victoria, and it still is used by the Queen today in Buckingham Palace. And the Colemans family pioneering achievements in social welfare are part of Norwich's history. In 1857 a school was opened for the employer's children, while in 1864 the firm employed a nurse to help the sick members of staff, which at the time that was really quite groundbreaking. Nobody had done that as an employer. They actually gave schooling and nursing to the families while they were working and employed at Colmans. So that's Coleman's building, which is going to be, say, redeveloped. It's quite a big site here. There was a lot of people employed. I think it's very sad when a company that's associated with a city does move on, because it still exists, but not in Norwich. I mean, it's been here 160 years, and Now it's not anymore. But there is very little industry in Norwich. It's never really been an industrial city. And here we are, going some buildings which were wharfs where produce would be brought along the river and loaded to the storage areas. We're approaching Carrow Bridge, which used to open for the boats to go under, and you can see here this remnants of a tower. It was called a boom, and there was one across the other side as well. You can probably just see it over there. And again, this was all part of the city walls which protected Norwich. Norwich had the biggest enclosed wall city, was the biggest enclosed wall city in England at the time. The city walls started to be built in 1342, and it really was something to behold. As you can probably see from the photograph that I'm putting in, it was really quite remarkable. This bridge now does not open, but it did at one time to let the boats come through. Where I'm walking now is not far from the railway station. It's probably just 10 minutes, which we'll have a look at in a minute. And it's 45 minutes roughly by train from Cambridge. And as I discovered the other day, about 1 hour 45 minutes to London. But it's well worth a visit because it is the best preserved medieval city in the whole of England. And with the two cathedrals as well, the Riverside walks, Tombland, there's some wonderful places here to visit and a lot of good character around. This building here was known as Reed's Flour Mill. Before that it produced confectionery, and before that textiles. Now converted to apartments, quite tastefully I might add. So it must have been a lot of action up and down the river here many years ago. Right, this modern building is named the Riverside Friendship Bridge, which is because the city is twinned with Colemans in Germany and also Novi Sad in Serbia. Looks pretty grubby, doesn't it, really? Yeah. It's a shame that bridges like this don't get cleaned up. Another development across the road here. As you can see, this is all going to change along this side of the river on the other side, as it has done on this side. But that's progress. I love the character of the old buildings, but of course they can't stay empty forever. There's always a development opportunity, and best to put it back into use. If you enjoy my walk around Norwich videos, there's a few more to come. Best if you subscribe, and then you'll get notified, and next time I do one, which will be quite regular, then you'll see and learn a lot more, and hopefully enjoy this beautiful city. It really is a great city. This corrugated building that we're coming up to across the road, I'm not too sure what it is now. It says furniture restoration, but it used to be a grain store. All corrugated roof and sides. I think there's a few people living in there. I'm not too sure what it's going to be like in there. And quite a curious building here as well. All part of the kind of the wharf area. All of this where boats would come along and they would stop and upload their flour and grain and other things at the side of the river. So we've got a few boats here which looks like they've had better days. Beautiful day again in November 21. The main site of all these buildings here, and around the football ground, and also kind of across the river, we used to be part of Bolton and Paul as a company. They were in Norwich for many, many years. They built planes for the First World War, windows, doors, so many different products. Again, they're not here anymore, so the land was redeveloped for shopping. There's a big shopping centre behind me and near the football ground, and the housing as well. And now opposite we have the waterfront, which was again used for storage in the olden days, and more developments here, just continuously happening basically. Now these rather nice apartments or houses opposite here, this is Baltic Wharf. This is where timber was imported and brought in on the boats from Scandinavia, and this part of the river is much wider, and this is where the boats would turn around to go back out to the sea down the river Wensum and the River Yar. Very quiet. They've got a great view. Modern apartments, probably a bit overpriced as they always are. So as I said, this area has been developed, so it's more of an entertainment area and shopping. Shopping is very much down there. There's a Morrison's and many other shops. This is a Wetherspoons pub. We have 4 in Norwich. We have an Odeon, we have a Tenpin Bowling, and down here there's a lot of food places. So yeah, it's a good area. It's a busy area, and just outside of town, so it's well located. Anyway, I'm going to go and get some lunch. Right, I've just had some lunch at Wetherspoons. So here we are walking towards the railway station, and we have Gravity Trampoline, Pizza Hut, Fatso's, Bella Pasta, Chinese all you can eat, lots of things, Frankie and Benny's. It's quite a busy area in the evenings. Yeah, really cold today actually, but it is November. So we're going to have a look at the railway station. There were 3 railway stations in Norwich at one point. This one was called Norwich Thorpe, and it's rather lovely. It's rather nicely designed. One thing about English railway stations, they always have a lot of good character and some good architecture. So let's go and have a look at this one. The river where we were walking is just there. So we'll go back to that very shortly, but we're going to cross over and have a look at the railway station. Right, this is Norwich's only railway station. So it feeds the east coast, links up with Cambridge and London. So from here we have Carrow Bridge, which I'll show you again in a minute, and this is where I started my, that was when I did my first Riverside video, from Carrow Bridge, the complete angular pub, to around by Cow Tower. So we had a look at that in my first Riverside video. So here we are just across the river from the bridge, and this is the station. Clock tower at the top there. Very central to Norwich. Walking from here is only 15 minutes into town. Quite a nice ceiling. I think there are 5 platforms. I think so. Nothing too special, is it really? 1844 this was built. Where we are in Norwich, to the east, just of the river, is obviously the railway station behind me, and then just over there, there's the Foundry Bridge. Foundry Bridge is because where Premier Inn is now was the Foundry. So this steel bridge is because of that's where the Foundry was. And down this road, there are many nightclubs, and this railway station position actually brings in a lot of people for clubbing on weekends. So it does get a little bit noisy. So there you go. So that finishes my second Riverside walk. Not the most attractive, admittedly, but it's got some really nice, interesting points to it. And the third and final Riverside walk will be where I stopped before, further around on the north side of Norwich. So yeah, on this kind of cold November's day, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please give me some comments, some thumbs up, and subscribe for more videos, because they'll be coming very soon. Thanks very much for watching, and catch you again soon. Thank you.